Angry, very angry, I know. I did sort of, Oh, I left oh, wait a minute. That is very offensive right now. Okay, I'm feeling annoyed. I've got to find the police, report these people for illegal actions. Because I'm going to go talk to this police officer. I'm going to speak to him. Excuse me, officer. Do you know that they're not allowed to do that in the parks, in the royal parks? Pray.
No, they are.
No, they're not. They're not. It's against park rules.
They've been given an area that
Why?
It's not blocking off the main concourse.
That goes
I believe.
Well, it goes against the park rules.
Okay.
The royal park rules.
I think it's been considered.
It shouldn't, because we're not allowed to do anything.
Right.
No form of prayer is allowed.
Right. As far as I'm made aware,
well,
they've been given an area which is obviously not infringing on people that are walking past.
That causes me anxiety, okay? Because what's going on in the world today, there's a lot of violence going on, and it's because of their ideology. And so for them to... Do you know what that means? The significance... Let me just tell you something.
I'm not getting into a debate with you regarding that.
The law. What about the law? Why don't you... Why are they special?
They've been given a space.
Why are they special? Why?
Right there.
Go away.
I was praying. You were filming.
Why are you walking away from me, officer? I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
And then he's going to say, oh, look, this is what Muslims are.
They haven't given a space.
Why? That's actually against park rules to pray.
Sorry?
It's against park rules, the royal parks.
Right,
You're not allowed to do prayer.
We're aware that they're doing it.
Well, they're not allowed to.
Well, I can't see anywhere in the regulations where it says
well,
that.
I can show.
However,
shall I show you?
Hang on. Right, sir. Yeah, brilliant. I'll call you back in a minute.
It's Easter Sunday.
I know.
Easter Sunday. Do you know what's going on in the Middle East right now with Christians and Jews? Do you know the slaughter that's going on because of Islam? And that is a sign of superiority. That is conquering.
Yeah.
By them praying there in the royal parks, which is actually against the rules.
You're the only one that seems to have a problem with it.
It's not actually just me.
No, it is. I don't see anyone else complaining, not even the officer saying anything.
Well, it's in the rules, dear.
No.
It's in the rules.
This is supposed to be a debate.
No, it's not debate. No, you can't debate law. You cannot debate law.
Are they praying?
Do you not understand English? Not allowed to. No.
Am I going to say anything?
Not allowed to.
What do you mean not allowed to? Where's it say in the
Royal
regulations?
Parks.
Where does it say in the regulations?
It says it.
Where does it say? Can you give me the paper?
I'll show you. If I find nothing.
So what then?
That is
so what then?
against park rules.
You're kind of harassing him.
You're harassing me. Get away from me. Yeah, you are. You're shouting in my face.
What do you mean I'm shouting in your face? I'm talking
well, you
to
are.
you. I'm talking to you.
I'm going to tell you now. Do you know what rules are? Do you know what regulations are?
I know exactly what regulations
are.
Well,
then you should care.
They're not.
Yes,
so
they are.
You're going up to an officer saying that they're praying over there. They shouldn't be doing that. You're
Correct.
the only one who's causing the problem.
No, I'm not causing any problem.
You're the only one causing. If someone prays to
problem.
Jesus next to a tree, am I going to go and say anything?
He's getting a little bit agitated. No, don't. But that's not good enough. If it's against the regulations, why are they allowed to break the regulations?
When I come to work, my boss tells me they're allowed to do it.
Why?
I let them carry on.
Well, the Queen, have you spoken to the Queen about it? Because it's according to the park rules and regulations, they're not allowed to pray. Nobody's allowed. Nobody's allowed. Nobody's allowed to pray. Nobody. No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't put your finger in my face.
You have a free speech.
No, you're not allowed to pray.
You're
not allowed to pray.
We're not allowed to pray.
Here.
Really?
You can go somewhere else.
Can't have a cold
I'm
shower.
cold, okay? I'm cold. I'm cold. I'm cold.
That's what you're doing. You're going
You've been bugging this place. You've been asking so many people. You had debates with Paul. Explain to you what is Islam.
Which you guys
what
don't
regulations?
know.
We can do what we want.
No, you can't do what you want. No, you can't.
They can pray as long as they're not obstructing anyone.
No, they can't.
We are obstructing.
You
By
cannot.
us standing here obstructing.
I'm telling you now, I'm going to make an official complaint, and if I can have your number, and I will say that you are not following the regulations, because they are not allowed to do prayer. Nobody's allowed. No Christians, no Jewish people,
you're the only one
nobody.
saying it. Officer, are they allowed to pray there?
Nobody's allowed. No,
are they allowed to
the
pray?
royal, this is the royal park. The Queen.
The Queen. However, dispensation is given to allow it to happen. I don't know by who.
Bring me the phone.
I'm aware
it's
that
on
it's
there,
happening.
We're not allowed to
Get up.
argue or
I know
debate in
it.
the street, but here we are.
You're saying that we can't.
Nobody.
Based upon
No, listen, do you understand?
It's
Nobody.
yours. It's what you
Nobody.
want. It's what she wants.
The Queen. The royal park.
Hey, you're going
This is
around
her
calling them
park.
spots picking problems.
Okay?
Does she know the Queen should enter the
In
Muslim?
the regulations.
What regulate? What act?
The park regulations.
Do you know what regulation it is, madam?
If you could just
Do you
look
know
it
which
up for me.
officer who's going to adjust
He's
it?
going to adjust it
No.
now. He's going to adjust it.
It's all right, darling.
Well, you show me. I don't know which one it is. I just know I've seen it.
Because I've read it and I can't see it.
All right, well, let me see it then. Can I have your book?
Here you go. Have a look. Get ready, everyone. Get ready. Let's have a look. Give her a highlighter. You have a highlighter.
No, I need to see this.
It's quite a lot to digest in one go.
Let's go and carry on what we're doing.
I'm sure she's going to apologize.
I'm not going to
It's okay,
apologise.
we understand that.
No, but you know, she's doing a good job. She's gonna.
The point is, even if it was, she's the only one with the problem. Even if it was, you're the only one with the problem.
So I can have a problem.
There's no regulation.
Hey, listen, I'm a citizen.
Yes, but do you see anyone else having a
can
problem?
just get
Do you
lost.
see anyone else having a problem?
Get lost.
Do you see
I
anybody
don't
else
care
having a
about-
problem?
listen.
Not only is it not in the
Can I just say
regulations,
something?
you're the only one who has a problem. We're debating,
I can hear
we're
you.
keeping it civil, and
not
you're
allowed to
going
pray.
around telling all the Muslims they can't pray.
You're not
Are
allowed
we
to
going to
pray.
go and tell
No.
people they can't pray to
Listen.
Jesus? Even if it's against the regulations?
Nobody.
Come on,
Nobody.
come on.
Nobody.
Anyway, find it.
Don't
Come
touch
on.
me. Don't touch me. And nobody's allowed to. Do you
Who's
hear
touching
me?
you? Who's touching you?
Do you receive?
Find
any-
it.
Do you receive?
Find it. Find it.
Do you receive any
Find
information?
it. Find it.
Do you receive? Or you just shout your
You're
head
the
off?
only one who has the problem.
Listen.
Anyone have a problem?
I have a problem. It only takes one person.
Let's look.
Go on, you find it.
No, calm down. Let's look together.
Guys, don't give her no time.
Nobody can
Carry
pray.
on doing what you're doing.
Not just Muslims. Nobody.
Who says?
The rules.
If I want to go on the floor now and pray, I will do so.
I'm against the rules.
You can keep doing this all you want. I can do what
You
I
can
want.
keep. Yeah, do you feel like a big man?
No.
Do you feel like a big man?
debate with you.
No, you're not. You're yelling at me.
You've got an
You're
attitude.
yelling.
You lost.
Let's see who's got the attitude. You're screaming in my face. You are so rude. That's my right.
very rude.
That is my right. No.
Yeah, guys, please
So?
don't talk to her, man. Ignore
Maybe
this
to try and
woman.
defuse this situation, okay? Whether it is allowed or not, okay? We are instructed
You cannot enforce
to allow it to continue.
So whether it's allowed or not, you've been instructed to let it
All
continue.
laws are
Under what?
discretionary.
No, they're not.
Well, they are.
Wait a
because
minute.
Yes, they are.
Wait a minute.
He's an officer.
That's the officer of the law.
All laws are
Unless you're the
discretionary.
officer.
Trying to go against
We
the
are
law.
allowed.
Yeah.
We're
You should be
allowing it
arrested
to
now.
continue.
But not if it's
I'm not
against
going
the
to engage
rules.
in a debate with you, okay? If you want my
Can
details,
I do want your details.
Okay.
Because
Step over here.
you are saying that you can obey the law when you choose. Can you get out of my way, please, everybody? Get out of my way.
They're paying to have a look. Have a look.
Thank you. Woo! Well, that was fun.
Now, the technicalities I'm talking about, for example, if somebody commits murder, we don't necessarily arrest them for it. Technically, you could actually process them for it and summons them to court. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Now, we know that is happening, okay, but we are allowing it to happen.
Why? It's against the
Well,
regulations.
it's not
It's
my
against
job
the
to make that
regulations.
decision. Yeah,
Well,
right.
you're an
Well,
officer of the law.
Yes.
You were
But I
supposed
don't
to be
know absolutely-
upholding.
Yeah, but I don't know, and I could
You
never
just
possibly
admitted to
know.
me that
I'm
you
not going to
know.
debate with you.
Well,
okay?
you just admitted to me that you are aware of the law.
Yes,
and
I
you're
am,
letting
yeah.
you're choosing
But I carry
to
that with me
disobey.
because there's so many.
Even though I'm
Right,
asking
okay.
you
I'm not gonna
why
debate
it's
with
being
you,
allowed.
okay?
As a
Yeah.
citizen of
I'm
this
being-
country,
and I'm telling you that
I'm
my
saying
boss
to
has
you
told me it can
that
go
that
on.
activity
Yes,
is
ma'am.
not allowed, and you're permitting it as an officer.
I am, yes.
For what reason?
Well, so are all my colleagues.
Why?
Because my boss has said it can carry
Why?
on.
Because
I'd ask them.
I'm not asking you. I'm talking to this officer.
But you keep on Article 10.
No, I don't. It's okay. He can
I
manage.
don't know any of
He
this,
doesn't need
mate,
your help.
okay? I can't know everything, okay? I'm a police officer, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I've been doing it for a long time, and I know
There you
the
go.
ins and
There's
outs
the
of
rule
the
there.
job.
Do you want to read it?
Fine. No, I'm not going to read that in a minute, okay?
Well,
If you want
that's
my-
the
fine.
rule there that
If you
says
want
that
my
they're not allowed to
details,
pray.
You can have them, okay? And you can complain to whoever you like, but I've been told
So
you
your
can
reason,
carry on.
and who is the person who gave you that permission to say it's okay? Because I want that person's name
All
to
right.
say that praying
I'll
in
get
the
my
park
sergeant to come and speak
is
to you,
allowed,
okay?
even though it's against the regulations
Yeah, I'll
of
get
the
my
royal
sergeant to come
parks.
and speak to you.
You are saying it's okay. So what is the
Do you
point
want
of
to come
having
over to the
regulations?
police station and we'll talk to him?
How far away is the police station?
So you can complain over
Well, it's
there.
up to you.
No, you can just give me his
Make a
name.
written
We're
complaint.
Sergeant Cook.
Cook.
Yeah.
Has he got a number?
Yeah, 53 RO.
53 RO.
All
We
right.
know occupying
Great,
this
thank
place.
you. I don't need to go
People just
over there.
connect to good
I'm just going to say to you, if other people, and this is, nobody's allowed to do it, okay? For some reason, they think they're separate.
Right.
And they can do it, nobody else, it doesn't matter.
Well-
and that's what the problem is that they're being treated differently to everybody else according
It's
to
allowed
the
to-
rules.
yeah.
No, it's not.
Right.
It shouldn't be.
I've been told
But
it's
you,
allowed to happen.
Yeah,
Okay.
why? Why?
There you go.
Why
I
is
don't
it
know.
allowed?
I don't question everything.
Muslims not praying.
Otherwise, we'll never get
So you
anywhere.
go against the regulations of the park because...
We have to ban all sort of exercise.
Because my boss
So what's
said
the point of
Well,
having regulations if you don't follow them?
Okay, well, I'm not the only person that's done that, and you sort of singled
you-
me out.
Well, because you happen to be
'Cause I'm
standing
here,
here,
yeah.
and he walked away from
And
you.
nothing's happening, and no one's got a problem.
You're fine.
Yeah.
I don't need to talk to you. I don't think you're an officer. No, I don't really. I'm actually speaking to an
Well,
officer.
go and speak to my boss now if you
He
want.
rules you out. Thank you very much.
to go talk to the sergeant about this.
Yeah. And if you want to
Yeah,
uphold
okay, let's
the
go talk
complaint,
to him.
that's fine.
Good, let's
Let's
go.
go.
Police are doing a good job.
Well, of course you'd say that. You would say that. I got a lovely heart. Oh my God! I probably won't be able to come back to this park for a while, guys. I think I'm just blown. Do not go. Oh, do you think they might arrest me? Actually, you might arrest me. Where's? Oh, come here. Do you think it's a good idea to go? Maybe I should go because they might arrest me. That might be, but I don't think I want to get into a police.
Bring it to you if she's happy to do that. But if you want to pop up, that might be a bit better.
Yeah.
Yes, he was advised not to hold the sign up anymore, and it appears that he's actually left.
Oh, that was a bit of fun, wasn't it? No, I'm not going to go. Yeah, he's going to come here. That's good. Excellent.
It's about a 5-minute walk, and he's coming over.
Great.
Is he coming over here?
Who's coming?
Can I just give you this to read to them?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me
Because I
see.
really don't want to be...
Okay, let me see.
You've
you
got
just
it
give me
there,
the-
have you? Does it actually
yeah.
give the regulation number?
Yeah, can you give this? Let me see. It says Royal Parks.
The Royal Parks, TRP, does not permit collective acts of worship or other religious observance in the TRP estate, either in their own right or as part of demonstrations, event or other activity. This includes spoken or sung communal prayers or other events that are primarily
The thing
religious
is-
in focus.
Now, I hear that. Now, I'll try and find that in here because this is basically the legislation that we can actually report people for.
Well, I hope.
So because it says it's not allowed, it actually depends on what the legislation that allows us to do about it, according to what you're reading there. So if it's in here, we can do something about it.
What? Well, who wrote that?
They did.
Who's they?
Well, the Royal Parks, and it's a Metropolitan Police booklet. So,
But if that's,
Okay, wait.
this is the thing.
this is the stuff that we
It
can
needs
do
to be
something
treated.
about.
See, we're just kind of fed up with people being treated differently because of their ideology, and that's what's happening.
Well,
if
agree
we
with
did
you.
a
If no one's allowed to pray, then nobody's allowed
exactly,
to pray.
that's what I'm saying. I just want.
Yeah. But the point I'm making, madam, is if it's not within the legislation, understand what I'm saying is it might be an abridged version. However, that it might say we're not allowed to, but it says what can we do about people who are.
Well, you tell them not to.
Whereas this is a.
You tell them that they can't do it.
Right.
What happens if I play music right now?
Well, that's in here because it's music.
So you're not allowed to?
No.
Okay, well,
Okay, so why can you not play? So music over prayer. I mean, you're choosing which regulations
it's
to.
not as though I don't disagree with you. However, if I come into work on a Sunday,
I mean, rules are rules, right? I mean,
and they
rules are
say,
rules.
Well, we know it's happening. We're going to let it happen.
But that's been
And again,
allowed to
the point that I'm
happen.
making about all laws being discretionary, it's like I say, it's whether or not we actually choose to do something about it. You know what I mean?
All laws are, I don't think laws are discretionary. Really. Strictly speaking, I don't think you can choose to obey the law.
Technically speaking,
Well-
it's what I'm talking about.
That's new to me. What I'm saying
the reason you're not
is that
doing
there's.
anything about it is you don't want to upset
It's
certain
not as though
groups
it's
of
me not doing anything about
Well,
it.
whoever's
I'd
made
say
the decision.
Organisationally,
is because you don't.
From the top, so don't upset a certain group
It
of
very
people.
much agrees with me that you single me out. It's not as though I'm choosing to do nothing
No,
about
but
it.
you're going along with what's been said, obviously, because he didn't want to say anything about it, and you.
It's not as though I disagree with you. However, when
no,
I
but
put this
you-
uniform on, my personal feelings can't come into it.
Right, so I'm not asking for your. I'm asking you to obey the
Right.
park rules,
Yes.
which include not
However,
having prayer,
if-
which I
yeah,
can say to you,
yeah.
in the atmosphere that we're living
Yes.
in today,
But
in the
yeah.
world that we're
Yes.
living in today,
Yeah.
that action is a sign of domination.
However,
it's
the point-
them
right,
declaring
okay.
that they have control, and you know what? They're being allowed to do that because you're letting them break the law. And they know that you won't stop them because you're worried that they might get annoyed and,
The point
get
I was making,
violent.
technically, whatever the offence might be, if
Whatever.
somebody can be arrested, doesn't mean. we
No,
will.
I'm not asking to arrest.
No,
I'm not asking to
I'm
arrest.
talking about in general.
Oh yeah.
So let
Fair
me have
enough.
a read of this. He's on his way over.
They would require written permission under
No.
3B of Royal Parks
No.
and other open spaces regulation of 1997
Yeah. Does it give a number?
and other open spaces regulations of
Yeah, see if they-
1997.
I'm going to read the whole book and see what we can find. Because, like I say, it's not as though I disagree.
Yeah.
This is a letter
Well,
drafted
I'm just making a
by
point. Everybody should be treated fairly and equally.
Point
And at the
17,
moment,
organise a
that doesn't
table
seem to be
on-
happening, and I'm just a bit fed up with it. So I'm speaking out, even though it's, a little bit tricky. I just tend to stand up for what I believe in.
There's a lot of events in
So, there you go, guys. I'm doing it.
and I just
Yes,
can't- I
yeah.
can't believe this is
Yeah,
allowed.
well, to be honest with you, it's actually really good legislation, and I wish we could apply it outside the parks because a lot of it's common sense. Which, unfortunately, common sense isn't very common.
It's very rare. It's a very rare
So,
thing.
like I say, it's not as though I agree or disagree with you, ladies.
Has anyone else approached you about this?
I've actually spoken about it with my boss as well, but
We've got people sending this
yeah,
letter
yeah.
in, and I thought,
Yeah.
Because people
Absolutely.
aren't,
Well, if
don't
people
say
make-
anything.
yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of people just keep stum because they don't want to get what I just got, which was a lot of aggression, aggro,
Mm-hmm.
and fingers in my face and intimidation, which I think I did okay with, quite frankly, under the circumstances. But
the
they
liberty that allows this to happen comes with a weight of leaving aggression at the door, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I don't
But you
know why
see-
people,
I know,
people
I
aren't
did-
liking what they're hearing.
That's
Why
right.
can't they move away?
Exactly. And you never used to have to be here.
No,
A few years ago, you didn't need a police presence at the park for Speaker's Corner because everybody
Very
just
much a sign of the
spoke.
times, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
As it should be, really.
So,
I can remember coming here as a young fella, and it was all like ufologists and,
and
flat
politics and
flat
yeah,
earthers and
there's
stuff, politics.
the moon is
the moon's an alien base and stuff.
Now it looks like Mogadishu.
now it's a bit not quite so warm and friendly. But as I say, I might be mad, but I'm not stupid. And I just want to stand up because not enough people are doing it.
Well, we thought we'd organise a Christian prayer group here and sing hymns, but we know that that's not allowed.
Well, when it comes
We
to the
don't
point
wanna break
where
the rules.
freedom of speech,
Well, you've got this here so far that I've come across. So this is
assembly.
section 4, which is you've got to get the permission of the Secretary of State prior. So that is organise
Oh,
or
there you
take
go.
part in any assembly. I don't know whether that was
that would work.
That's it.
That's the assembly.
that's 17,
17 and 19.
Right, what's 19? Well,
Intentionally
that's obstruct the
intentionally
path,
obstruct or interfere with the free passage of any road, riding way or path.
But then that could be said of the entire group. Hello, Sergeant.
Hello,
This
how
is
we getting on?
Sergeant Cook.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, good, thanks. How are you?
What's happening?
Well, it's just regarding the prayer that's going on.
Right.
It breaks park rules, and I wonder why they're allowed to break the rules. And
Which rule do you think they're breaking?
assembly and religious. Here it is.
The Royal Parks does not permit collective acts of worship
Collective
or other
acts of
religious observances in the Royal Parks estate, either in their own right or as part of a demonstration, event or other activity. This includes spoken or sung communal prayers or other events that are primarily religious in focus. Exceptions are made for annual acts of remembrance at the regimental memorials and the parks, which have taken place since the First World War.
Okay,
As a public body, it is not the place of the royal parks to make value judgments between one religious observance or another. We must either permit all collective religious observances or refuse them all. Our approach is to continue to refuse all such observances on the grounds that they are not traditional park-related activities, and the disadvantages to the public at large of allowing them would most certainly outweigh the benefits to adherents of a particular religion or belief. The policy extends to the construction of structures within the estate and with religious significance. And then you've got to
pretty
apply for
clear.
open
Yeah, it's concise.
Let me just say,
To the point.
It has been brought to the police's attention before, and it is being looked into. But, they need a ruling on it,
But-
and the Royal Parks Agency, I understand, are speaking to solicitors
But
at the
that
moment.
clearly
It's ongoing.
says
Yes,
that
well,
says no. You don't need to be talking because that's a rule. They're breaking the rule.
Well-
And if anybody else was breaking a rule, you would tell them to stop breaking a rule. But because it's them, Islam,
What do you mean by them?
Islam,
Well, we
it's
try to be
because
fair
it's.
to everyone, and at the moment,
Well, you're not though.
well, at the moment,
You're not being fair because you're
we'll
letting
take
them
your
do.
details and
No, you don't need
recognise
to
your
take my
complaint.
details.
Okay.
I'm just saying to you now,
Okay.
that clearly states what's not allowed. You don't need to talk to any solicitors. You don't need to have any negotiations. That clearly says no,
And I've
not
said It's
allowed.
being looked into.
But by who?
By the Royal Parks Agency and the police. who have
Well,
come
then
to
they
the
shouldn't be
decision.
allowed to do it.
Well, they are allowed to do
No.
it. They're going to continue to do it.
No, they shouldn't be allowed to do it.
Okay.
So you're saying that they can break the park rules.
I'm saying it's being looked into, and a decision is going to be made.
That's
all right?
something that you're fudging a little bit there because, quite
no,
frankly,
well,
they're
maybe
breaking.
we are.
They
Maybe
are
we are.
breaking the rules. Now, according to the park rules, they're breaking it by their assembly, a religious practice
Okay, and
that
that's
is
why
against the
and that's why
rules.
it's being looked into, madam.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Well,
it
you
is.
should be dealing with it now.
Well, we're not
It doesn't
dealing-
need to be
we're not
looked
dealing
into.
with it,
No, no,
they've been-
it doesn't need to be looked into because they're breaking the rule.
Okay, you made your point. We will take your details. And I will
No,
pass
you're
it
not
on.
going to take my
All right,
details.
I won't take your details.
I'm just going to
I
say
won't
to
take
you,
your
why are
details.
you not
As I've
following
said,
the rules?
Because
That is just getting out of it, okay? Because you
Maybe
know that
there's
nothing
a-
is being done. You know that nothing is being said. You know it's just to get me to go away.
perhaps
And I'm
it's a
saying to
bigger-
you,
perhaps it's a bigger.
it is a
field
bigger
to it.
social.
Yes,
Yeah, it
okay,
is.
so a decision
And right
here
now,
will not help matters.
no,
will
no,
it?
no. Actually, as far as that goes, it's straightforward. You are within your legal right
And
to
Sadiq
stop
Khan
them
should be very familiar with
from doing what they're doing because that is not allowed according to the park rules. And you are letting them do it.
Yes,
and
we are
it's
at the moment, I agree.
unacceptable.
Yeah. Okay, we are. Yeah. The decision is going to be made. And
No, it's
going
not.
to be
You
made
know
here
it's
today.
not.
Yes,
Because,
it is.
well, they shouldn't be allowed to do it until the decision is made. They should be stopped.
Actually, a good point. Yeah.
They should be stopped
Well-
and say, look, you apply, and then we'll see. But until then,
On this one.
well, I guess we will have to get a lawyer. But I'm saying to you now, this is disgusting
It might
that
help
they are being
if I took
allowed.
your details, and that could be added to the argument that you're upset by people praying and having a religious assembly when they shouldn't.
But they are
Right?
breaking the rules.
If I haven't got your details,
Wait. Why do you, they are actually
Because
just
I've said
simply
it's
put,
a
they're
great-
breaking the
It's
rules.
a greater political.
Why? Why do
debate
they get?
than we can
Why?
have here now.
Why are
All right?
they being treated separately to the
Because
rest
they
of
get
us?
upset.
Often,
I know
often
that.
policing
I know. I'm just
is
getting.
by
I know
consent,
why.
isn't it? Yes.
By consent to
Yes.
whom?
Generally, the public.
No, we don't want that to happen.
Okay,
And
that's
you
why
are
if
supposed to
take
stop
your-
it.
We take your details and we will.
Why do you want to keep taking my
We
details?
won't take your details. if you don't
What's
want
my
to.
details got to do with them praying or not?
Because it gives
Breaking the
strength
park
to the
rules.
argument that you've been upset
I'm
today on this
perfectly
occasion.
capable
And that's evidence.
of writing my own letter.
Okay.
However, I should not have to because it's already in the regulations that they should not be together praying.
And I've said it's
And
been
you know
looked-
why
it's
they
been looked
are?
into.
It's not being looked into.
It is
it's,
being looked into.
It's not being
It
looked
is.
into. How do I know? You're just saying that.
Take my details in.
I will.
And
With
ask,
Sergeant
and,
Cook.
and ask for an update. 53RO.
Well, but right now, that's the rule. They're breaking it, and you're letting them break it. So if I break a rule,
there's hundreds
are you
of
going to let me break
thousands-
it?
there's hundreds of
I say,
thousands
hey,
of
hang on. Well, they're allowed to break that rule. So why can't I break this rule? How do you decide what rules are okay to be broken?
There's hundreds of rules being broken as we speak at this moment.
Well, how do you?
Yeah.
Well, that's not right. That's what you're for. You're supposed to actually. The whole point of the police force is to enforce the law,
Thanks for that, yes.
right? So if there's laws being broken, then it's your job to take care of it.
And I said it's being
And I'm
looked
saying to
into
you,
by
well, it's
a
not.
greater authority.
And until it is, you should not let them pray. They should not be allowed to
We've
pray.
been instructed that at the moment
By whom?
by the inspectors at the Royal Parks Agency, not the mayor. No. Go ahead.
That's just ridiculous. It's unacceptable.
That's why it would be helpful if we could take.
I know you keep asking me that, but I would say it'd be much more helpful if you would actually enforce the law. And the fact that
No, I
they're
told
allowed to
you we're
pray,
going to at the moment.
you know
We're
full
gonna allow
well
them to
that the
pray.
reason why you let them is because you don't want any trouble. That's why.
That's your opinion.
Am I wrong? Am I actually? Come on. Am I wrong? Come on.
That's not mine.
If you went over there now and said, "Excuse me, gentlemen, yeah, could you please, you know, you're not allowed to do this," do you think you'd get out in one piece, or do you think you might have a riot on your
I think we
hands?
probably would. Actually.
Should I dare you then? Should I dare you? I dare you. I dare you to go do
You
that.
can dare me, but I'm not going to.
I know you're not
Hopefully
going to
you'll
do
be-
it.
Hopefully we'll be here when a decision is different, and I can give
No,
you.
no, that's like you see, Sergeant. You're missing the
You're not
point
the
by
first people
you,
who brought it to our
by
attention,
you
you see.
pushing, kicking the old can down the road,
Yes, maybe
saying
we are.
a decision is being made by some invisible people who are not there. It's annoying because that rule is being broken and you are condoning it. And by doing that, then that means that you cannot technically enforce any other law that's being broken in this park if you let them do that. So what's the point of you? I mean, with all due respect, I love you guys. I love you guys. I love the guys in blue. I love your job. I love what you do,
Right.
except when you don't do your job and stop people from doing what they're not supposed to be doing.
I'm sorry that you feel upset by it. That's all I can say at this moment. And as I said,
And
it
you're
is
not
being
going to do anything about it. No,
not
but,
here today,
look,
now we're
Sergeant,
not.
come on.
No, I'm not.
Do I
here
look
today.
like I know. I'm going to say, do I look like I was born yesterday? And I know you're going to say, no, you don't look like you were born yesterday because I wasn't. However, you know that I know what you're saying. And it's unacceptable. It's not right that
Can you see it from
They
my
can
point of
be-
view that it would be helpful if we had your details and I could pass them on? You know, and even
what
if-
point? What is
and
what?
then
Because you've
someone
just
will get
told
back to you on
me.
a phone
You
number
just told
and,
me
you know,
that they're
because
dealing with
it is
it.
being dealt with.
I've got 50 friends writing this
Oh,
letter
okay, that's good.
to you.
Excellent.
So if you can guarantee that you'll respond to
Who are you sending it to?
um,
The Royal Parks Agency, or
Do you have a named person?
do you want our chief inspector's details? Because she's the person ultimately
Yeah, give me the
responsible
chief
with that
inspector.
bit. Chief
Go-
Inspector
oh
Josie
wait, the
Harris.
email actually does.
So who do you answer to, Sergeant?
Well,
This is
Who's your boss?
Royal
initially to Chief Inspector Josie Harris,
Yeah.
who's
The
hopefully
address we have for this letter is the Royal Parks, the Old Police House, Hyde Park,
I feel like we're being
London
protected now.
W2UH.
that is correct. Yes.
Okay. And Hyde Park's office, Rangers Lodge.
That's the Royal Parks Agency side,
Okay, so-
and they are negotiating with the police.
So there's a whole bunch of us sending this letter out to you. There's a lot of us, and hopefully a lot more after this go there.
Can I just say who's it being sent to first?
Okay, we actually don't have a name.
Right.
No, we don't have a name, so a name would be useful.
Yes.
So you see where I'm coming from? That it's kind of, it's really
Absolutely
not
coming
unfair. It's
And it
totally
would be
fair.
better for me and my officers
Totally
if we
unfair.
had a decision, but we haven't.
But you don't need it. This is my point. I don't understand that.
It's a park regulation.
It's a
that we need to
regulation,
check is
but
how
until
they-
that
how they want to
regulation
play
is
it.
changed, they should not be permitted to practice. That's because it's in the. What did she say? You say, listen, guys, I'm so sorry, but look, it says it right here.
Someone is-
I'm afraid.
If
You know,
somebody's
our
flying-
hands are
if-
tied.
If someone is flying a
Chief
kite in
Inspector
here
is
this
Josie
afternoon,
Harris.
yeah, would you want me to enforce
So
that
she
part
is the,
regulation, for example? Flying a kite in a park.
What does that mean? What's that got to do with anything?
Well, it's another
What
park
is that?
regulation.
No, I'm only concerned, obviously, about what's going on here. And I think you know why? Because for some reason, everybody else has to follow the law. There's exceptions being made for a certain group of people who believe in a certain ideology, and it's totally unfair, right, to the rest of the population. And what I'm saying to you is, usually if you've got the law behind you, because you could say, look guys, look, I'm sorry, our hands are tied, I'm afraid you can't, you're going to have to apply to the Secretary of State, right, and request permission to do this, and then you can do it. Until then, I'm afraid, sorry guys, it says it clearly here that you're not allowed to do it. That's what you should be doing, not, doing what you're doing, which is nothing, and letting them get on with it.
Okay, so we send it to
So-
Inspector Josie Harris. Okay. At the address I said earlier. I can
Right.
give you something to put up if you want.
Well, I tell you, I'm annoyed that they can get away with what they.
She'll be at work on Tuesday.
Oh, because it's
It'll be in the bank holiday.
right, guys.
I thought.
Yeah, I think if I tried a citizen's arrest, I might get about a foot, and then I'd be pounced on.
Could always organise
A posse?
prayer group or whatever.
Well, then I'd get arrested.
Easier to-
I'd be told to leave.
Well, no, we'd just let it carry on the same.
No, the principle is.
We thought about that, but it says in the Royal Parks instructions you're not allowed to have prayer books, so we're not going to organise a prayer group ourselves. Because that's breaking the rules.
Well, you don't need a book necessarily to pray, do you?
No, I don't need a prayer book. I'm just
Sorry,
saying.
did I see prayer book? Prayer
Yeah, you did.
meeting.
Prayer meeting, assembly. All right, well, now I'm cold now.
What's the definition of an assembly?
Well, more than one person. Like us, we're assembled.
We are.
So we're actually breaking the law, so we better split up.
Well, it's a bit of an irony, isn't it?
So we can go and sing Jerusalem right now.
Well, you know,
See what happens.
Do you know the words?
No, I don't actually, but I can Google it.
I think it might be that. I think might be a little unwise right now
We've got these
because you
wonderful
know.
police officers to keep an eye on us.
Were you aware that arrests were made here 3 weeks ago?
No, I was at the infamous Free Speech Day, or not? When Tommy Robinson came,
Yes.
What
arrests were made for.
For
Assault?
violent disorder and assault.
Oh, we knew who that
Yeah,
was.
no, but I saw him hit a policeman and somebody else. The one I told to go somewhere politely.
She was in the middle of all that. Well, that's good. Well done.
But didn't he get released? Because I'm sure I spoke to him later on that afternoon. That's my problem. I had a good old chat with him, so I was really
Bail Act would
surprised.
be under the courts, did you say?
Okay. Fair enough. All right, well, I'm frozen now to the solid, so
Well, nice to meet you, and hopefully you get an answer which you're happy with, and we can take the correct action in the future.
Yeah,
well, officially speaking, I'm very dissatisfied because you are allowing them, exactly, you're not taking action, you're permitting them to break the park